go ahead and call this special meeting of the Mendocino County Civil Service Commission order at this Tuesday, July 28, 2020 at almost what, 9:08. Anyway, welcome, and let's go to our first item, and it's the roll call and chair rotation. So let's go ahead and do roll call first, and then we'll turn the chair over.
Commissioner Warren?
Here.
Commissioner Poplawski?
Here.
Commissioner Evian, absent by prior arrangement. Commissioner Beth Michelle? Here. Chair Harden?
Here. Okay, and now we'll turn the chair over to the most able Scott Ward.
Thank you for the kind words. Good morning, everybody. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Anybody have any questions regarding the minutes?
No, I'll move to approve the minutes as presented.
Seconded.
Okay, I will do the vote by roll call. Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Commissioner Poplawski?
Yes.
Commissioner Evian, absent by prior arrangement. Commissioner Beth Michelle?
Aye.
And Commissioner Harden?
Yes.
Next item is public expression. This is an opportunity for the public to address the council's agenda. Individuals wishing to address the commission under public expression are welcome to do so via email at hr@mendocinocounty.org. Is there anybody here who would like to participate in public expression? Seeing none, we move on to the next agenda item. This is employee organization. This agenda item is to be used for the employee organization representatives to present information requests to the Civil Service Commission. Is an employee organization representative present? Seeing none, we move to the next item, which is closed session. We need to move to adjourn the closed session.
I'm gonna, right now, I'm gonna put everybody into the waiting room so that you can
to open session. The vote on the closed session matter, whether to extend the probation, Mr. Goblin. Vote was 3 yes, 1 no, and 1 absent. The yes votes were Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Harden, and myself, Scott Ward. The no vote was Terry Poplawski, and Sherry Evian was absent. The next item on the agenda, item number 6, is discussion and possible action regarding Civil Service Commission meetings and hearings during the COVID-19 public health orders, including how appeal hearings will be conducted.
William,
John,
are you gonna,
did you want to?
I was just gonna ask William if he wants to start the discussion? Or,
Oh, I wanted to go on to the next item agenda. Are we going to discussion about the next item agenda, discussion of the reporting out on the closed session?
did that.
Please guide me here, Johnny.
Okay, so you reported out on closed session, and then the next item is number 6.
Right, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, number 6.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if William has anything to, if he's presenting the item or.
Well, I would have to say, good morning, commissioners. William Schurz here. So there's been a request to the commission to for appeal hearing for consider in-person appeal hearings, and during this pandemic, as you might know, that there's been a change in how we go about conducting our meetings. And so we've called this special meeting for this reason, for the commission to discuss and find the safest way for the commissioners that would be to conduct the appeal hearings, whether it be in person, virtual, or a combination of that. I know that there is things have changed over the last few weeks. There's been a surge in the cases. New health orders have come out since the initial request for in-person hearings. We've provided the latest shelter-in-place health orders as part of the agenda, and so I would just like to put it to the commission as to have a discussion about what's the appropriate and the safest way to go about conducting these appeal hearings.
I'll start. I don't have an issue with an in-person hearing. I'll stand in line at the River Valley Market 6 foot apart, 10-15 minutes waiting for my turn. I'm certain that we can provide social distancing and masks, temperature checks, and hand cleaner at the board chambers, and I would believe that we could get 6 foot apart. I think we are anyway, when you sit at the dais there. So I don't have an issue with it, but I certainly do respect people that do. And for me, I'm okay with an in-person meeting. Maybe at the minimum have a majority of the commission there, 3-person meeting, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle, so that the appellant feels like they're getting a fair in-person hearing. They get a combination of. That's my thoughts. Marilyn?
Yes, I think, originally, I was, I thought, well, we could work it out and, have an all in-person meeting. But with the latest developments and the idea of, this isn't like going to the grocery store for an hour or 2 hours. This could be a 2-day conference. And I think that kind of raised my flags a little bit, for people that, might have a little more susceptibility to this COVID-19. So those. So I kind of like the idea of, where if you wanted to, you could go virtually. So
If I may,
Jenny?
Mr. Chair.
Jenny?
Well, go ahead. William, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I checked with the CEO's office today, just to confirm that the chambers has been deemed closed to all meetings, um, like what you're looking to do. The only thing that they do from the chambers is the virtual board meetings, where they're doing that from. And so it's been deemed closed through the month of August, and they're going to reevaluate that in September, determine whether or not they're going to continue closing the chambers to all meetings. I just wanted to put that out there for you so you have that information.
Yeah, so I had a couple questions. One, I looked on the county website and I saw that the Board of Supervisors are meeting virtually. So I'm kind of questioning why, the veracity of the request that we meet in person. If it's a short hearing, I kind of agree with Marilyn. If it's a short hearing, I'm fine doing it in person. And I like Scott's idea of just of 3 of us being there. But if it's a multi-day or all day, I'm uncomfortable with that. Even if it's a short meeting, I would expect that the council chambers has been cleaned and sanitized and that people have had their temperatures checked and everybody's in masks. I mean, I think we need to have some protocol. The fact of the matter is all your commissioners are in the high risk area. And so it's not like we're youngsters. So
Hey.
I'm concerned. Well, I really am not a youngster. You guys can classify yourselves. The other concern I have is that I'm uncomfortable making this decision without Sherry here, because this will impact her also. But as I said, Scott's idea of, if we have a minimum of 3 of us there, then that would allow Sherry some flexibility. So those are my thoughts.
Jerry?
Well, I'm fine with a in-person meeting, but I think the chambers doesn't appeal to me as much as even this room. If everybody who would be in the room had their own table, it's a pretty big room. I don't know that the audio system would function in far reaches of it, but this seems logistically superior. Sounds like the chamber's out anyway.
It would be easier to clean that room.
Yeah, I would think.
David, is it mandatory to have an in-person interaction on an appeal hearing?
No, actually, Johnny asked me that question. I sent her an email kind of outlining the information I have and the thoughts I had about this. I think under the health order, there's an exemption for a governmental entity performing what are called essential functions. But the definition of essential functions comes out of one of the governor's orders, and it lists a variety of things. It doesn't specifically mention conducting an administrative hearing, but this is providing an employee who's been terminated with the right to a fair due process, fair hearing under the Constitution. So I think it would be an essential function. I think that this commission would have discretion under the circumstances on how to conduct that hearing, balancing the employee's due process rights, which includes being able to examine or cross-examine witnesses, present and receive written evidence and all of those things that happen during a hearing, with, you know, conducting the hearing in a way that is safe for the participants. I have a concern that you're going to be in, you know, you maybe the commission may be compelling, or the parties may be compelling witnesses to appear and testify, and we don't know who those witnesses are. Some of them may be higher risk, in the higher risk category, have other health issues, or not, or just don't want to be take the risk of being exposed. I think it's true if you're in a room even the size of the one we're looking at on the screen here for, you know, 16 hours in a 48-hour period. And I don't know what the air circulation is like in that room, but even with masks and social distancing, I think that the evidence I've heard is that when you're in that kind of a setting for prolonged periods of time, there's a higher risk of infection, especially if there's not good air circulation. So, and there's no windows, I don't think, in that room, at least none that I can see right now.
Would it be
Anyway,
We've had hearings.
so I think you can, you know, either do a hybrid virtual in-person meeting where you provide options. You do have to make sure that the way the meeting is planned and conducted, you know, everybody can hear everybody else. A witness can be meaningfully questioned by both the employee and the county representatives. That written documents that are going to be made evidence in the hearing are available to all to the board, to the commission, and to the attorneys representing the parties. So those things would have to be planned to make sure that that was possible. It all seems doable if you were to do a hybrid where you have some people are willing to be there in person, but I think you know, given the risks associated with COVID-19, you should be giving participants the option of not taking that or being there in person, as long as you can ensure that the meeting is adequately recorded so that it can be transcribed if there's an appeal, or I mean a court action to review the decision, and as long as you know, evidence can be reviewed by all the parties that have to review it, and witnesses can be meaningfully questioned and cross-examined.
Is there harm to the appellant for a substantial delay until this goes?
Yeah, that's another concern. Sure, they've been terminated. They're no longer being paid, and if the commission were to overturn their decision, they'd be reinstated. They get back pay, but obviously there's a you know, a burden of no income for as long as it takes to get the hearing. So I don't think this should be put off indefinitely. I think there should be some reasonable period of time to provide the hearing, especially since I think it's possible to do that even with the COVID-19 shelter-in-place orders and the risks.
Johnny, could another venue, maybe outside of the campus, be available to accommodate, you know, a larger space, better air circulation windows, and not the Veterans Building?
One of the thoughts I had was the hospital has in Willits has conference rooms, and I don't know if their conference rooms are set up with the same type of air quality monitoring that the rest of the hospital is, but that's just popped into my brain.
That's a good idea.
I personally don't feel like a hospital's a place I want to go.
I'm sorry, Terry, I didn't hear you.
I don't feel a hospital is a place I want to go.
Good, yeah, okay, I can see there's a double-edged sword with that.
We would have to try to locate a place. I don't know what options are available.
Conference.
We would have to research and see what's available and determine part of the coordination that Dave was talking about. How many people are actually going to attend in person and how big of a room do we need to be able to do the social distancing?
And will the technology be less than satisfactory going somewhere else?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear what the union says and any suggestions they may have.
So can I make a public comment now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we have a few things we'd like to say. One is we do have some flexibility. If waiting till September may change the situation, we're more than willing to do that. I have a concern, having been on way too many Zoom meetings over the last 3 or 4 months, of putting the commission through 2 full days of trying to attend an appeal by Zoom. I think it's just not possible to keep your attention on a proceedings like this through this technology. I think the other concern that we have is we need to have a way to guarantee that all the witnesses and all the participants have good connections. I've been on a lot of meetings where, you know, people drop off or where the testimony would be garbled. So we have no issue with a hybrid, you know, where those who feel comfortable could attend and others could participate remotely, as long as the county can guarantee good connections. You know, that might be a separate room where witnesses would testify in their own space, but with a guaranteed strong signal.
Good idea.
I like the interpersonal connection hearings like this. Just I get a fuller picture of the issue and body language, nuances, voice inflection get lost in a Zoom meeting. And I like looking at a witness in the eye, questioning them. So anything we can do to facilitate it, I'm thinking at least a majority of the commission in person would be the best option. But I don't know if it's doable. If you're willing to wait till September, things may change. It may get worse. We don't know. And then what?
You know, I mean, the point of being focused on the Zoom meeting for 2 full days, if that's what you're guessing this hearing is going to be, I completely agree. It's just not it doesn't feel fair and it doesn't feel really feasible. So I'm fine with a hybrid meeting. I like the idea of as many folks as possible can be in separate rooms for some of the witnesses. I mean, I'm concerned, my personal concern is interacting with, you know, a group of people that I don't know how they've been social distancing. And that's my concern. So having, you know, some folks in person and others via video, I'd be willing to participate.
How about the issue of testing? We have testing available in Ukiah. And we have everybody who's going to show up tested.
Yeah, I mean, that would make me feel a whole lot more comfortable if they had a test within 7. I don't know how quickly you can get results, but some places I've read, my brother's having surgery. He has to have a negative within 72 hours. I mean, that's something that the county we can't ask people to pay for that. So that's something the county would need to be willing to provide and front.
Would the CAO be flexible enough to open up the board chambers for this one meeting? Or is it being closed sacrosanct? Can't open it up at all. I mean, this is part of a function of county government.
So I was told this morning from the CEO, from the executive office, that they were not going to allow any meetings in there during the time that it's closed.
Also, if I could add, this is Johnny, the chambers have not proven to be very good for closed session hearings because of the camera situation. It's why we do them in conference room C or B usually, because of the whole issue of having closed session in chambers.
You can't turn the cameras off?
There's an issue with one or two of them. I don't know what it has been in the past, but in the past, they've just said we can't, we just determined that we can't use it because of the camera situation and the recording, keeping it from being, I'm not exactly sure what the technology issues are, but, you know, we can check back with them, but it is the reason why we currently do not use it for closed session, the chambers, because of technology issues.
I'm not a big fan of the word can't. There's always a way to do something.
Well, I agree, and like I
I don't have any control over the CAO or the county.
Shelley's making notes right now, so we could probably check with IS towards determining what didn't work before and would it work now. Has something changed about that? But again, if it's not available, it might be available in September.
Can we put HEPA filters into the conference room C? I don't see why not. They have them.
We did have some air purifiers during the smoke, during the fires. There are air purifiers that were portable ones that go about. I don't know if that would be helpful, and I don't know if that's the same thing what you're talking about.
No, it's not. Not as
Okay.
fine filtering.
Okay.
It seems to me that maybe we have some more work to do on the staff side, that that maybe Johnny and your staff can look into the appropriate venue, what the technology is, what the air circulation and purifying options are. Can the room be sanitized? Responding to the question about whether we can require, testing for all those that are involved, and maybe get the answers to some of those questions. There may be others. Those are the ones that just popped in my mind. And then we can all circle back around and hear the answers to those questions and then make a decision. Does that seem like a path forward?
I think it does, and I think a lot of the logistics and the coordination would be the thing that we would do behind the scenes after the commission determined what kind of hearings they were going to decide upon. And I think also, our agenda item is a discussion and possible action regarding how hearings will be conducted, which could also include the delegation of the commission to the chair, so that we didn't have to have a special meeting to decide how hearings are going to be conducted. But I think exactly, Jenny, what you said, the logistics of it does not necessarily need to be part of the action. It's what direction do we want to go, and then the staffing would make it happen under whatever that direction was from you.
Well, and also the venue. I think you can do some pre-legwork on identifying the appropriate venue and the appropriate technology and the appropriate air quality concerns. I mean, I agree you'd have to schedule it all after, but identifying the appropriate facility is something that I think we need to, that's going to take, I'd like to understand where it is and what the precautions available at that site are.
I agree with Jenny. We don't have enough information to make a decision today. We can't be the only civil service commission of the 58 counties in the state that are going through this. I'm wanting to reach out to others. Maybe they have a protocol that we're not aware of, or how do they do it?
Yeah.
And see, also the employee union, maybe they can do some checking around with their other locals to see what's been done. Maybe give us a hand in wrapping this up. It's important. Right, provide due process. I mean, that's very important for us to do, but I don't have enough information to say yes or no on this.
So, God, I just had one thing I was going to ask Johnny. Are we scheduled to have a meeting, a regular meeting in August? Do we have any items that
We likely will have items in August, aside from whether or not we have a hearing on the 19th and the 20th.
Okay, yeah, because I don't have a problem with doing another special meeting just to review what, we found out. So,
Yeah, neither do I.
Neither do I.
Or,
Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine with having a special meeting.
And we're willing to help out in researching what other county civil service commissions have done. Also, since the 19th is coming up fairly quickly, we'd be willing to postpone the appeal hearing till September, just to give the county more time to research these issues and find a way of doing this that's going to be safe for everybody.
I appreciate that.
Also, I wanted to add that Patrick had already offered to help us find a venue if there were not an adequate size building in the county that was available. So we appreciate that as well.
Rena Blanton, Deputy County Counsel. I'm wondering if I can address the commission also. Just I have some information about how the county has been doing these sort of meetings and why, if the commission would hear that.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So since the COVID outbreak, we've had no other boards and commissions have been holding live meetings. They've all been done virtually, and that's because of the risk to the staff, the members of the public, and just everyone involved. And in this situation, we'd also have the issue of the risk to witnesses. So this particular type of meeting, and I think people have touched on this already, where not only are you with a large group of people, but you're with a large group of people for a prolonged period of time, is really considered an extremely high risk activity. And also it's not just, okay, you're with the same group of people for a long period of time, but you have witnesses cycling in and out who aren't just there for a moment, they're going to be there for potentially an hour while they're testifying. And so you're having that additional prolonged exposure to not only a large group of people, but other people cycling in and out. We're also at a point right now where we've been having these virtual meetings because of the high risk. And right now the county has gone, the number of cases has dramatically increased, and we're expecting it to get worse over the next month. Of course, we don't know exactly how long it will continue to get worse or what it will look like, but we're not expecting it to get better, at least over the next month. The types of businesses that are ordered to shut down by the state have the same types of concerns as that you would have with holding an in-person meeting, because you have a large group of people in a room together for a long period of time. And even if you take the precautions of the social distancing and the masking, which are certainly helpful, when those only add so much extra protection. So really, the county's concern in having these types of meetings, and why we have not been doing that and continue to not do that, is to protect the staff, county employees, protect the members of the public. And in this situation, I think the additional thing of you're compelling people to be there in a situation that is potentially not very safe. And we don't want to have county employees put at risk unnecessarily to hold a meeting. I mean, of course, we understand that Zoom is a different sort of thing, and that this is an important thing, but we do really, the county really is concerned with the high risk of this type of situation. Thank you.
A couple of things on that, Rena. What are the courts doing now in town? And would it be unreasonable to ask the public health officer, our new one, for any suggestions?
I don't know exactly what the courts are doing. So that would be information that I would have to get back to you on. And I would have to check in with the public health officer also to see if they would have suggestions.
Yeah.
So as representative county counsel, you are advising the commission not to hold an in-person hearing because of the risk?
I'm providing information about the county's concerns regarding in-person meetings and why the county has not been holding in-person meetings.
Hey, Scott, I mean,
Yes.
I like the idea of your idea of getting some advice from the county health commissioner, or whatever her title is. And knowing what the courts are doing, I think is good information. So if we can just add that to the list of additional information that staff is gathering on our behalf, that would be helpful.
I know I had a jury summons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe they are conducting jury trials. They're requiring social distancing and masks and all that. And I had to appear in court the other day on criminal matters. The lawyers are required to personally appear. On civil matters, you've been able to call in for a long time for something called court call. When I appeared, the criminal defendant, was in the jail in a room with teleconferencing equipment apparently, and he appeared virtually, but the lawyers, the judge, and the courtroom bailiffs, they were all present in the courtroom.
Thank you.
I think also the presiding judge of this court has issued an order on this, which we can get you, and the judicial council may have issued some orders, interim orders addressing this as well.
Yeah, it's not apples and oranges. It's like apples and oranges and tangerines. It's kind of related.
It is, Scott.
Yeah. And so,
it's the same. They have the same. They have to balance the same things: the public safety and well, in the criminal case, of course, it's even more severe if it's someone sitting in jail waiting for a trial. But it's still a matter of due process versus the safety.
So my notes here are, David's going to get judicial protocol, a copy of that. You can ask can ask the public health officer, the new doctor, what to do. Human resources can ask other counties what they're doing. And Patrick's going to reach out to his compatriots and other locals to see what they're doing. And then we will come back to another special meeting to receive that information. I think then we'd be better informed to make a decision. Is that about what we've talked about?
Yeah, I just wanted to back on if it's possible to be in a safe location, but I guess the public health officer will help us identify that.
And then, because of someone's personal feelings, I guess the commissioner would have a right not to attend because they are concerned for their health. And I think that's an absolutely reasonable decision to make, to not attend.
Right, too.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we don't have a quorum. We can't give a fair. We can't have an appeal hearing.
I think giving the commission and the witnesses some flexibility on attending on Zoom is an option versus if you can't be there in person, then you can't participate. I mean, I think we need to balance that.
So since we do have a regular meeting scheduled for August 19th, and Mr. Hickey did say that they're willing to postpone until September, it's possible if we can gather this information, we can come back to that meeting rather than having a special meeting. We'll try for that. That way we don't have to try to get a quorum on a day that works for at least 3 people, and then maybe everybody is able to participate if it's a regularly scheduled meeting, all the commissioners. Does that sounds reasonable?
Yep.
That does. Would it be a regular agenda item or would it be under closed session?
It would be a regular agenda item. We're not talking about anybody in particular, so it's fine for public comment, and unless you, I'll let Dave or Brina answer that. I'm not sure that there's anything about this that should be or could be closed session.
Patrick, how does that work for you? Hello.
I'm sorry, I was unmuting myself. That sounds great.
Okay.
David, you're available?
on the 19th? I think so.
Perfect.
Let me double check. Oh, wait, I can do that right here. Sorry. Where's the month here? August. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yes, I'm available.
Good, good.
And I think we'd also want to hear from Christian. Do you think, Brina, or not?
With regard to exactly what?
Well, we're talking about the meeting protocol, but county council is a big part of this process. I certainly don't want to leave you guys out of any input. If we have any more than what you presented today, I'm going to make sure that everybody participate in this final decision.
Well, I mean, I was here for county council, so Christian and I spoke, and that was, I conveyed the county's concerns, which is what he wanted conveyed to the commission.
Okay. All right. So do we need to give specific direction, Johnny, or can she read it back to us so she understands it?
I think it's you're just looking at direction rather than an actual motion and action at this point, but I'll defer to Dave to answer that.
Well, no, it sounds to me like the commissioners have given direction of what kind of additional information they need to make a decision, and I think we're clear about what, at least I think I'm clear. I don't know, Johnny, if you've taken notes, but I think it's pretty clear what they need to know. I'll get them information about the courts, and we'll look at alternative facilities and what options are available to allow for people to appear both in person or virtually if that's the safest way for them to participate while meeting due process standards. And we'll bring all that information back to them on the 19th, and then they can make a decision.
And what other counties are doing.
Right.
And the public health officer, maybe the public health officer will have some input.
Okay.
I think between Shelley, William, and I, we probably have enough notes captured all.
Okay. I guess we're done with item number 6. Moving on to item number 7, the Human Resources Director report. We have a report today.
Yeah, there's really no report today other than I think you're well aware of the current pandemic situation. So nothing else has really been going on other than we have instituted or implemented the pay raises for the second year market adjustments for 5 bargaining units as of July 12th. And so that's really about it for right now.
All right. Looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll move.
Second.
Roll call. Scott Ward, yes. Marilyn?
Yes. Well, I can't hear. Is she taking roll?
Jenny?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Motion's approved. Meeting adjourned. 1 hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See
Bye.
you next week.